Welcome to our Sunday morning service. We invite you to silence your cell phones, please. Please silence your cell phones. Thank you very much. We want to, you might want to check into Facebook and share that you are at Unity of Buffalo this morning. Do you know how to do that?
Yes, I already did.
You did it already? Thank you.
I didn't. I can't
And we are about to sing an attitude of gratitude together. And now, Christy, would you cue up the video, please? And everyone, please stand. And we join Richard McDitchie in singing an attitude of gratitude.
I thank you, universe, for each new day.
changed in the room quickly. My goodness. This is wonderful. Good morning again, and thanks to the dancers, singers that came out. That was wonderful. And welcome to our Unity of Buffalo Sunday morning celebration service. We welcome our viewers online and watching live or later in the day or week. My name is John Michaels, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday morning service. I serve our ministry as a prayer chaplain and trainer for the program. I'm a board member and whatever, stuff. However, Spirit calls me to serve. Let's have an opening prayer. Sweet and loving Spirit, we are so grateful for this wonderful day that you've given us and for this wonderful congregation that we share. The light of God is upon us today and always. We just need to see it. Behind the clouds, wherever, if it's raining or if it's snowing, the light is there. His light, her light is in us. And so we say, dear God, thank you for the blessings of our relationships, the blessings of this wonderful baby day, to make it what we will. And we say thank you for the love that we share. And we say thank you for this wonderful day that we are going to make into whatever wonderful things we want to. And go Bills. Please join me in affirming our invocation. There is only one presence and one power, living as the universe and as me, God the good, omnipotent. And our vision, our mission, and our core values. Let us go through these, please. Our vision is a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And we attain this vision through our mission, practicing the presence of God through prayer, education, service, creativity, and community. And our core values are what we bring to our mission. We are loving. Ready?
Yeah, okay.
We are loving. We hug ourselves. We do, don't we? And then we embrace the world. Embrace the world. I don't know how far we can get there, but we can get there. Spiritually centered, let us tap our hearts. Inclusive, hold our arms wide open to include all. Respectful, namaste. And compassionate. From your hearts, extend out forward, affirming, I am here to be of service. I am here to be of service. That wasn't too bad, right? So now we have, this is the first Sunday of the month, we have our November birthdays, and we know that we have some November birthdays, but nobody can come forward.
Christy's here.
Christy! So Christy and all the others that are not here, but here in our hearts, we're going to sing happy birthday first. Okay? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christine. Happy birthday to you. What's the second verse? God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing your wonderful. God is blessing you now. And many more. Well, that was pretty darn good. And our daily word for today, our daily word reader is Joyce Gaius. And Joyce is going to honor us with the daily word balance.
Yes, thank you. Sunday, November 6th, balance. I honor life's shifting rhythms. Sometimes trying to balance my schedule, meet my obligations, and even find time for things I enjoy can leave me scrambling to figure out how to fit it all in. Today, I take my cue from nature and notice the rhythm of the seasons and the tides, the cycles of growth and the order that underlines all things. I appreciate how seamlessly the natural world balances itself and restores itself to harmony. The gift of harmony and balance lives in me. I honor myself when I flow with it instead of forcing my will upon it. I listen to my body's many signals. I rest when I'm tired, I eat when I'm hungry, and I socialize and seek solitude as I need to. As I care for myself, I find balance. There is nothing better for people under the sun than to eat and drink and enjoy themselves. Let us repeat the affirmation together, which is supposed to be on the balance, and it's not. So, for there is nothing better for people under the sun than to eat and drink and enjoy themselves. Thank you. Go Bills!
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you very much. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce our wonderful, inimitable Reverend Mary Masters, who will be sharing our message, the lesson for today, and a meditation on the very subject of balance. Reverend Mary?
Thank you. Well, good morning, and I can see we need to keep adjusting the mic to be in right balance with the height of each person that speaks here this morning. So, the energy. You know, how many of us would say our favorite season is fall? You know, it's like, so often, maybe it's not, maybe it's summer or spring. But it sure is for me. I love the changing seasons. But as I was thinking about the lesson for today, I came upon a little story about a man that was traveling through India. And he came to a town, and there was a sign at the entrance to this village in India. And it said, "Follow the rules and enjoy your stay." Follow the rules and enjoy your stay. And I thought, maybe that message could aptly be applied to, follow some rules and enjoy your stay in your body. Follow some general rules and enjoy your stay in life and wherever you are, what's going on in the changing with the seasons. That if there are some things that we do, it will help us to have more harmony and balance and enjoy our stay, whatever's going on with the shifting rhythms in the world, and just as the Daily Word says, we can take our cue from nature and notice the rhythms and the seasons and the tides and the cycles and the growth and everything that underlies that. And I'm glad Joyce, you reminded us of the scripture, but I realized, oh man, if I was writing this Daily Word, I would have picked a different scripture reference. I would have picked also from Ecclesiastes, for everything there is a season, a time for every matter under the sun. Time to be born, a time to die, a time to build up, time to tear down, time to plant, time to pluck up what's been planted. But there's wisdom. There's wisdom to help us. Today what I want to do is help give us some very practical ways to look at living in balance with the changes of not only the season outside, but the seasons of our lives. That many of us, we are going through changes and cycles and seasons in our lives and our loved ones. People may be passing or in health challenges or going through changes. And here's another piece of sacred scripture from the Tao Te Ching. It says, the wisest person trusts the process without seeking to control. And as I thought about today, I thought about wisdom traditions. I think these ideas are we can find in many wisdom traditions, but to me, a few years ago we did a series on world religions, and I love looking at ideas from different traditions. And to me, one of the spiritual traditions that to me most exemplifies and embodies this idea of trusting the process and going with the rhythm and the flow of life is Taoism. And Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, I love this, she said, when she and Charles were first getting to know each other and they were corresponding back and forth, at one point she wrote a letter to Charles. This was before they got married, and she said, Charles, I am decidedly eclectic in my faith. And is it not my right to do so? She was saying, I want you to know this about me. If we're going to keep dating and corresponding, you should know that I like to look at a lot of different perspectives. And I guess there must have been something in Charles that said, the ding went off. He said, yeah, this is a woman for me. Because they continued to develop their relationship. But so today, I thought maybe we would be a little bit eclectic in our faith and learn a little bit about Taoism, how that can help us follow some rules to enjoy our stay in life. And to me, it's interesting, the word Tao means the way. And in early Christianity, the followers of Jesus describe themselves as followers of the way. And there's different ideas and theories about why that language was used, whether it was reference to Hebrew scriptures, prepare the way of the Lord, and the Messiah is coming, or whether it was Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life. But also I've read that there were the early Christian community, that they weren't so much referring to a set of beliefs, but they were referring to a way of living. The way, followers of the way. And so there are many parallels with Taoism and Christianity, and that help us live in harmony. But I just have to tell you right now, I feel like I'm a little bit in a pickle to even talk about this subject, because, the Taoists say that the whole idea of it is incapable of being expressed, that those who know the Tao don't talk about it. And those who don't know it try to talk all about it, explain it. So, I don't know, it's a challenging subject, but I thought I'm feeling a little brave today, so I think we'll just sort of give this a shot. But Taoism is, one of three strands of religion in East Asia that weave together Confucianism and Buddhism and Taoism, but You know, and if you were to meet a woman on the street in China and ask her what her religion is, she would probably say, why, it's the great church, of course. Meaning this weaving together of Taoism and Confucianism. But the founder of Taoism is a funny little guy named Lao Tzu. And he taught very much in the tradition of Jesus, you know, forgiveness, non-resistance, love your enemies, resist evil. You know, he was all about being in the flow, living in harmony with nature, with what's going on around us, you know, just easing through life. And, you know, we don't really know a lot about this guy. The legend, he lived, I'm saying 500-600 years before Jesus. The legend is that he was born at the age of 72 years young. And his very name kind of refers to that as a nickname for old boy or the grand old master, meaning sort of a term of endearment. But he was a very quiet kind of guy. He was keeper, I guess, of the state archives, and he lived a very simple and unassuming life. And at one point, he just decided he wanted even more solitude. He was just going to kind of get away from things. So he climbed on a white buffalo and rode off into the sunset towards Tibet. But there was a gatekeeper there going into Tibet that recognized that, gee, this guy is really special. There's something really profound and wise about him. And begged him, the gatekeeper begged him, don't leave us, we need your wisdom. And he said, no, I've got to go. And so the gatekeeper said, well, couldn't you just leave us something? leave behind something that would help, you know, all of us with your wisdom. And so he said, okay. So he took 3 days. He went off and he came back with this tiny little slim book that he wrote. A total of 5,000 characters, 81 short readings referred to as odes. And he said, this is it. Here it is. And of course it's called the Tao Te Ching. Now this isn't the original book that he wrote 2,600 years ago, but this is one of many translations of the Tao Te Ching, which is a book about the way, you know, how to live, you know, and it is a very simple book. You can read it in an hour, you can read it in a day, in a lifetime, read it over and over again. My experience of reading it, it's the only time it's ever happened to me. I was stranded in an airport. I was going somewhere. I got stuck at LaGuardia on a Friday night. All the flights were canceled. There was no way I could, you know, and everybody, you know, people were mad and angry and pushing and shoving, and they put me on a flight to go out, come back to Buffalo 6:30 the next morning. And I couldn't get a hotel. For some reason, all the hotels were booked. And the only friend I knew in New York City that I could call upon had 3 cats, and I'm allergic to cats, so I couldn't go visit Mike. So I literally spent the night in the airport. I've never done that. Just sitting in a chair, trying to sleep and hold on to my bag. And the only thing I had in my bag was this book that I'd been meaning to read, that I was going to share with somebody. So I spent the night in LaGuardia. I read this once. I read it twice. I did my little Tao of practice of looking around. I'd read a little bit, and then I'd look at people and make sure I still had my bag with me. And try to get comfortable in the chair again. But, you know, I felt like maybe that was no accident, that was my interest, my first time reading it. And so, you know, this little guy named Lao Tzu, you know, he was a very humble, unassuming person. And I think about, you know, Maslow said, you know, the place to find the sacred is in the ordinary. You know, it's in your everyday experiences, not, you know, well, it's nice to go up to the top of a mountain or go stand by the ocean or be in a sacred temple. But he said it's in the ordinary, everyday experiences of people and friends. So there I was. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit about the Tao and 3 particular concepts that I think will help us to live in harmony and balance with the shifting rhythms. So the Tao is really like our idea of the infinite presence. You know, it's the ultimate reality. It's the mystery of life. It's the way of the universe. It's both transcendent and eminent. It's the power that creates and sustains us. You know, it's the mystery. And I'll just read you 2 little odes. And tell me if this doesn't sound like how we talk about God. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It's like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden, but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It's older than God. I love that. The Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand it. Hold your center. So there's 3 concepts that I thought I would just touch on here. The first one is probably one of my favorites. It's Wei Wu Wei. Wei Wu Wei. Maybe this will be your homework assignment for this one. It's doing, not doing. So it's practicing not doing. Think about that. But kind of just letting go and just, you know, it's the energy of effortless action, that when we just let go, we just allow things to come to us. We don't have to do something. Oh, I've got to add 10 more things to my list. As the Daily Word said, sometimes trying to balance our schedule, meet all our obligations, and then find a little time to have fun. It's like, oh, I need a little Wei Wu Wei here in my life. But, you know, there's many examples of it. You know, it's described in this ode number 48. And part of it is up there on the screen, but in the pursuit of knowledge, every day there's something that is added. But in the practice of Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less you need to force things until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. So there's a story about a cab driver that had driven cabs in New York City for 45 years. And he was proud of the fact that he could say, I've never had an unpleasant experience. And somebody said to him, are you kidding? You've been driving a cab in New York City for 45 years, you never... And he said, well, whatever my passengers say, I just agree with them. That's Wei Wu Wei. It's sort of like the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that's one concept. And then, you know, another one. Well, actually, I just have to tell you this one other story. The story of a woman, she was 150 years old. And people came to her because she was so wise all the time. And there was a fellow Buddhist who made a long trip to come and see her. And he just said, oh man, I've been struggling so much in my life, and I can never find peace and put my heart at rest. What can I do? And she said to him, whatever happens, every morning, every evening, whenever anything happens, just keep on saying, thanks for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever. Thanks for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever. so he said, okay, I'll try it. He went away and he spent a whole year. He kept saying that over and over again. But he still was, his heart was restless and felt all kinds of upset and disturbed. So a year later, he comes back to this wise woman, and he says, hey, I've been trying this prayer. I've been saying it every day for a year, and I'm still all stirred up, and I'm still a selfish person I've always been. She just looked at him and said, well, thanks for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. And upon hearing those words, he was awakened spiritually. He got it finally, and he returned home with great joy. So there is this idea of just letting go and just accepting things as they are in a way that they can be transformed, or our experience of them can be transformed. And then another thing that you're probably all familiar with is the yin-yang symbol. All things carry the yin, yet embrace yang. It's this idea of the relativity of opposites. If you just kind of gaze this way, maybe it's an important call, but we can just kind of, you can meditate, that can be a meditation. You just kind of gaze at a yin-yang symbol, and you see how the black and the white kind of flow with each other. There's not a sharp division, but rather there is like a meandering line between the two. Each one moves toward the interior of the other. And each color establishes its presence in the deepest part of the opposite. And it's just kind of an eloquent way of reminding us that life is whole, and that the opposite that may have seemed so opposed or in our conflict of views, really that it has its rightful place of balance in our lives and in the world. And so, I think about, how we can kind of be in that place of centeredness. I think maybe Myrtle Fillmore was practicing this and didn't know it when she would affirm, nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. I can look at whatever's going on and just see that it's part of the shifting rhythms, the shifting tides of life. And, maybe you've heard this story before, and it's worth sharing again about the Chinese farmer. And horses were a symbol of wealth and being able to do well in the world. And he had one horse. And one day the horse ran away. And the neighbor came by and said, oh, isn't that terrible news? I'm so sorry. It's a bad thing you've lost your one horse that you needed. And the farmer just said, I don't know if it's good or bad. And then the next day that horse returned. And it turned out it had befriended a whole herd of wild horses. And so he came back, and now he had to put up his fence and create a stable to hold all the horses in. And the neighbor came by again and said, wow, what good fortune. Isn't that good news that now you have quite a few horses? And the farmer just said, oh, what's good or what's bad. And then one day, his son, the farmer's son, was riding the horses and trying to train some of them, and he got thrown off the horse and broke his leg. And so the neighbor comes by again and said, oh, that's terrible news. Your son broke his leg, and now he can't help you take care of the horses. And the farmer just said, oh, what's good or bad? And again, a few more days go by, and then the army comes through town, and they're recruiting all the able-bodied men to go fight in a war. And 9/10 of them wound up being killed in that war. But the farmer's son didn't have to go and join the army because he had broken his leg. And so then the neighbor came by again and said, oh, you're so fortunate, what good news. Your son didn't have to be part of that. And again, the farmer said, oh, what's good or what's bad. So, sometimes we're so quick to judge what's good or what's bad, or what's for us or against us, or active or passive, light or dark, or male or female. And this teaching just reminds us to stay open, to not judge, to just say, I don't know, I always, that's my 3-day rule, whenever something happens that I'm tempted to think is maybe not good or not something that I wanted to have happen, I try to remember anyway, to wait 3 days before I judge it, before I say, oh, this is good or bad. And always, I don't think it's ever not worked that usually before the 3 days are up, something has changed or shifted, or how I feel about it has changed or shifted, so that whatever it is that I thought what I was upset about is just a non-issue. So 3 days is the magic number. But, maybe that's what Paul, the Apostle Paul, talked about too when he said giving thanks in all things. Not for all things. I'm not grateful if somebody gets sick, or grateful that something, there's a loss or something. But whatever is going on, we can be grateful in all things, to find something to be grateful for, to come back to surrender. And I saw actually on Facebook a friend of mine, a minister who's also a personal coach, she was suggesting people think about the month of November as a gratitude challenge. What if you took the whole month of November and you just said, just for this month, no matter what happens in the election this week, what happens anywhere in our lives, I'm going to be grateful in the midst of it. I'm going to have an attitude of gratitude. I'm going to keep, it's like a mantra that we can keep going back to at center. And so then the last concept that Taoism, not the last, but the last one I want to share today, that Taoism can contribute to our being in balance and harmony with things, is this idea of qi. Actually the word Tao Te Ching, T-E, means qi, which means, I know a lot of people know, life force, energy, vitality. We got some people in the room who are healers, that's probably part of what you do is help people sort of activate that flow of energy, and it's a vitalizing power, and look, there's a whole, there are a lot of people that have brought an understanding of how we can use food and herbs and meditation, of course, Tai Chi, to move the energy, or acupuncture and acupressure. This is the basis of it. The qi, putting those little needles in, or acupressure with points, stimulates the flow of life force energy. And I always remember, I learned this from Reverend Laura when we dedicated our peace pole. I hope I get this right. That, there are peace poles like that all around the world, really. I've seen them in lots of other cities and countries, and she said that we can think of them as like an acupuncture needle in the earth, that is stimulating the qi on our planet or in our community for peace and wholeness and well-being. And that was part of the prayer that Reverend Laura led when we dedicated. We should probably have a rededication ceremony. But to think about those peace poles as like an acupuncture needle that stimulates a flow of energy. And, so Tai Chi, who has done Tai Chi here? Anybody done? Yeah, oh, good. So maybe you can. I thought we could do just a couple of real simple movements, you can do this sitting or standing. But the first one is just raising your arms up like this, and then letting them come down. If you want to stand, you can stand and kind of bend your knees. Just to feel. Can you feel Building energy. I love doing this, it makes me feel good. Just let your wrist kind of be limp a little bit as you lift up. Inhale, and then exhale as you come down. And then another one is very similar, just to lift your hands up over your head and then bring them down into prayer position. Inhale. Try not to bump the person next to you. But Tai Chi is a moving meditation. It moves the energy. Can you feel that in the room? I can see it. So, keep doing it if you want. But you can find a lot of YouTube videos, just very simple movements, that you can do seated. And so all of these things, I think, these practices, are designed to create an effortless life, living in balance and harmony. That things change in the world. Things change outside, the seasons change, our trees release their leaves and go into a time of barrenness in the winter, and then they come into full bloom in the summer. Things change in our lives, in our relationships, and in the lives of the people we love. But we can be present to all of that with what I like to call a lightness of being. That's how I think Jesus was able to be present to things. People would come to him, somebody needs a healing, or we need this, or we need that, or the storms are raging, what are we going to do? And, in order for him to be able to respond to those things, he had to have some way of staying centered, or getting replenished, or not freaking out, and saying, oh my God, I don't know, what are we supposed to do? He didn't say that, he was able to respond from his heart, and give wisdom, or expend energy, and then just to see something in somebody that they couldn't see in themselves, and then he could say, your faith has made you whole. I didn't do it. It wasn't like a magic zap. Your faith has made you well. So, whether it's wei, wu, wei, or yin yang, appreciating the balances and the opposites, or raising our chi, our energy, all of these things are ways of honoring the gifts of harmony and balance within ourselves and drawing upon that. And I feel like they're also very much a way in which we can learn to be gentle with ourselves, which we need to do. It's so hard, it can be so easy to not be so gentle with yourself. And so that's the song to lead us into our meditation now. And Michelle, you can dim the lights a little. And please feel free to sing along with the song if you'd like, or just listen.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I will hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart, and I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a baby child. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I rock myself like a baby child. And I hold myself like a baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
And so let us take a few moments now as we remember to take our cue from nature and appreciate the rhythms of the season, in and out of the flow of the tides, and the gentle movement of clouds across the sky. They are all part of the cycles and rhythms of life. And so I invite you to just breathe. Breathe into your heart. To take in this breath of lightness of being. Our doing, not doing right now. gifts of harmony and balance live in me. And I honor myself. I honor the way when I trust and lean into those shifting cycles and rhythms and patterns. And so we take a breath now and open our hearts to join together in prayer. We're continuing to bless and pray with Michelle and Millie, Mary Frank and Julie, Lisa Gates, Bob Puff Path. And we're including today Carol Schmidley, who's recovering from back surgery, is home now. And Christopher Searcy, who also had surgery on his leg and is home recovering. Erica.
As we prepare for prayer, further prepare for prayer, our hearts are already opened. So I invite you to place your hand on your heart, imagining the breath flowing in and out of the heart. As we breathe a little slower and a little deeper. Finding a nice, easy rhythm. And activate a regenerative feeling such as gratitude, self-compassion, kindness. And from this place of centeredness in our heart, this place of Wei Wu Wei, doing, not doing. We let our hearts open up and align with the power of the presence. The presence in us and all around us. As we take this time to prepare our hearts and our minds and our bodies for the week ahead. We allow today's lesson to nourish us, to sink into our bones. We receive it with gratitude. We receive all of life's blessings and challenges, all the prayers in the prayer box. We know our blessings and challenges, just like the farmer's story. That which seems to be a challenge is really a blessing. And so we approach the coming week with our hearts aligned, seeing through the eyes of the heart, and trusting that all is in divine order. Now and always, and so it is. Amen.
And now we'll have one more song. The song is You.
Spirit flow through me like a melody, ancient and brand new, for a song is you. May all people hear
Thank you, Reverend Mary, for that wonderful lesson. Thank you. And Mary Beth, thank you for that wonderful prayer. And to kind of reinforce our spiritual practice, let us affirm once more, I honor life's shifting rhythms within me and around me. I honor life's shifting rhythms within me and around me. Thank you very much. We welcome any newcomers today that may be with us for the first time this Sunday morning. We have at least one, somebody's sister, I would imagine. I don't know, but they kind of look like twins to me. I don't know. They look exactly the same. So, would the greeters please give her a special, and your name, please?
I'm Lindsay.
You are Lindsay, I know that, that's right.
Also, I think Fabolia, first time on a Sunday morning.
Fabiola.
Anybody else?
And another one. And another one. And your name, please?
Terry.
Terry, thank you. Well, the greeters are going to come and give you a special package that we have for first time. Huh? Oh, and your friend, I'm sorry.
She's back.
Hi, Deb, you're back. Thank you. This is absolutely wonderful. We have a young man. Your name, please? Gino. Well, my God, this is fabulous.
One more.
What a blessing. And one more. Good morning. And welcome. And your name? Leonard. Well, what a unique name. Yes, it's wonderful. Everybody's name is unique. Okay. We're going to honor each and every one of you with our unity blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Wow, thank you very much. Wow, that's really good. Now we're going to practice our generosity. This is our love offering time, and is an opportunity to contribute to both the vision and the mission of our ministry. There are at least 3 ways you can support Unity of Buffalo, and that is in giving today while you are here. Also giving online through the Donate Now button, and by mailing in a check if you'd like. We encourage you to become one of our regular givers monthly or throughout the month. Let us take time now to consider what is ours to give this week to support the work of our ministry. We can think of this as thoughtful, generous giving from a grateful heart. Now let us bless these gifts that we provide to Unity of Buffalo by affirming the following affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Freely I give, and freely I receive. Thank you, God. Background music will be played.
What will bring me to my highest good?
bless these gifts. Thank you, Christy. We bless these gifts and see them pressed down, shaken together, heaped up, and running over, and returned to every giver. Thank you, God. Amen. Well, now we have our transformational opportunities. Yes, that means we're coming close to the end of our service. So this is all the news you can use. Spirit Group's celebration brunch for today. Today, after our service at 11:30, so you're checking your watches, right? We are having a celebration brunch for completing the fall series on the book Love God and Everything. This is a Dutch treat lunch at the restaurant Gypsy Parlor. I haven't had the pleasure, but it's at 376 Grant Street, which is on our west side. Okay?
Is it possible to get a hands up to maybe see who is coming?
Make a reservation.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's all between 10 and 20. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's 800 then, right? Thank you, Eve. We're having Election Day set up. Also, right after the service, we need to move some of these chairs. Please help us, those of you who can.
John?
Yes, Max.
Yes. What I'd like to do is move all this section just there, right back up onto the back chairs. We can make 2 rows of stack. And then each side go, back and around so that we can do it. So it's a little more, then I know where the chairs go when I put them back.
Gotcha.
That's what I was trying to
Thank you,
accomplish.
ma'am.
So it makes my life a little easier and makes getting this church back into shape much faster. Thank you all.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and I'll need some help with bringing up 3 tables from the basement.
And the machine.
And the what?
The machine is.
And the machines, yeah, be pushed in, but we gotta wait till everything is.
Got that, everybody?
Yeah.
I think that was pretty concise. Thank you, Max. Music planning team. We are forming a music planning team to help plan things during this interim time while we do not have a music director. The first meeting will be on a Zoom call this week. See Reverend Mary if you are interested. Please, because our music program is really important. As you can tell by everybody that got into it with our music today. And thanks, Christy, for finding all of those. And you, Don, too. Thank you. Unity Gallery. The November-December show is a show featuring members of our church community, and it will be hung this Wednesday. The last call to contribute something. If you have artwork to contribute, please see Judy Puffpath and plan to bring your art to church this Wednesday at 11 a.m. Thanks. And those of you that have been with us a while know our Massachusetts Avenue Project responsibility that we've taken on to support those volunteers that help the 15 young kids, or kids, let's call them kids, because some are, how old are they, Mike? Like teenagers?
Yeah.
All right, young adults, and these kids do a great job, and we want to honor that by giving them some Christmas gifts. So what we'd like to do is, those of you that are interested in supporting this event project, there is a sign-up sheet on the table right outside the office, and anybody that wants to know a little bit more can see Mike Wickham. Raise your hand, maybe.
Or Therese.
Or-
Teresa.
Teresa.
No, she's co-leading it with Mike. They're doing this together.
And we say thank you.
I have to say, you can sign up, but we're getting that, she can get that, we'll get the names, by next week.
Get the names,
Get the
okay.
names, and you know what they want.
So you get a name, and you get a present, and you bring them in, and somebody's happy when you do that. So that is wonderful. So thank you for thinking about it. Next Sunday, Reverend Mary has the Sunday off. I don't know how she does it, but she's doing it. Annabelle Ludwig will be providing our lesson and an extended meditation on the power of a spiritual word. And Annabelle, just raise your hand there, please. She's going to be doing this. She will be sharing one of her, I guess it's a passion of yours, right? Which are meditation and chanting with a mantra. So that should be really neat next week. And sounds like it might be really wonderful, right? Yeah. We are now ready for our closing, and wait a minute.
Just want to say one thing, we're, a couple of weeks, November 20th on Sunday, we'll have a Thanksgiving potluck. And if people want to think about signing up now and what they might want to bring. So we have a couple of weeks, but just if they could do that today, or, there's a sign up sheet already to start that.
Let's bring the baked goods, we might be missing it.
Yeah.
We've got more. Carol.
Just a reminder, there's lemon frosted cupcakes downstairs and mini muffins.
And Mike
enticing.
made some coffee too, so we'll have a little friendship hour downstairs as well.
And beauty baked as well, so get the,
Oh.
I'll get there before everyone else.
Okay, wait a minute. Chairs first, desserts second.
We got it.
Please.
Thank you, John. I was thinking the same.
Now we're ready to form our closings. Yes.
Oh, yeah, Mary Beth will be available, yeah.
You know what? Prayer chaplain over in the corner for those people that like to have, would love to have a prayer said with them. So, and Mary Beth will be there for you. So how about now we form the closing circle? We got one more here. Yeah, they are a little bit. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts when you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts when you are. And now our prayer for protection.
The
Light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us.